Coach Babs, and welcome to the Think Strong, Be Strong channel. If you're an avid listener, welcome back. If you're brand new and you're here for the first time, or you came across me by chance, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. Tell all your friends about me, whether you enjoy this video or not. Thank you for stopping by, and today's going to be an emotional one. So without further ado, let's get to it, shall we? Yo guys, welcome back. So I've titled this video Divine Feminine Part 3. I think it's Part 3. But I've also put a bracket in there saying it's okay to cry. Especially men. So everything I talk about, it comes from my heart, or it comes from, it's my view. So it's always a personal opinion, and sometimes I will share personal moments pertaining to myself only, just to illustrate the effectiveness or how I 100% feel about certain things. And the reason why I've called it Divine Feminine is I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody on my Instagram. They messaged me, they'd watched two of the other videos that I've posted up regarding the Divine Feminine, and they were having a conversation about it with their friends and just talking about, the importance of the Divine Feminine as well as the Divine Masculine, and how women feel like they have to embrace more of the Divine Masculine, to be able to climb the corporate ladder, to be taken seriously, to, play the role probably as the dad as well as the mom if they're in a single if they're like a single parent and such, and how men really fear or are reluctant to listen to or express or accept the divine feminine part of themselves. And I've spoken about it before in my other videos. If you don't know, have a look. I'll put the link in the comment below. How the divine feminine and the divine masculine should be both equal within somebody, because it's all about balance and being able to lean towards one or the other. Again, this is my opinion. Be able to lean towards one or the other depending on the nature of whatever circumstances, but be able to express both. And the reason for my original journey was because I kept on having certain moments, encounters in my life where I could feel the divine feminine was really trying to break through within me. And I talked about even stuff to moving my furniture around to get this energy and this balance. So anyway, we're gonna talk. I'm in another stage, or I've been in another stage of my divine feminine as well for a period of months, and it's really been impacting me in a positive way, and in such a positive way, I guess, that at the time I thought it was a negative way, and I'll explain why. So, moving forward with that, I've also said it's okay to cry, especially men. Now, this is a conversation I was having as well, but I had more of this conversation with myself, and I've been having it a lot lately. And this is the point, basically, we as men, we are masculine creatures. We believe we have to be strong, we have to provide, we have to be resilient. Some of us don't really show our emotions. I was one. I'd never really, I'd show happiness, fine. I'd show a level of excitement, I guess, but I've always been in control of my emotions when it comes to dating. Let me not say I've always been. I haven't always been, but I trained myself to be. and to refrain sometimes from emotions that you should just let happen. Um, and we as men, we like to appear strong and not show any sign of weakness or breaking down or showing that a situation is getting on top of us. Some of us are that are raised in the old-fashioned way. We're protectors and we're providers. So we always got to stay strong, and we've always got to feel solid. And when times get hard, think of a solution. A problem doesn't have a mouth, so therefore it doesn't have a brain, so it can't be smarter than you. Just try and find a different way to figure it out, and don't let it get on top of you. Your wife or your girlfriend, your kids, they're relying on you to be strong. If you break down, what are they gonna do? And blah 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 blah. You know, and even I'm familiar with similar situations, similar, you know, training, guidance, um, whatever. I'm used to it. Okay, and growing up, we try to stay solid. Along my journey, a lot of things have happened to me where I've compartmentalized so much emotion where I should really react, but I chose not to. And then there'd be one a few times when I would just really just break down, and then just be like, nah, shake it off. Um, some of us are familiar with the term, just, just need to give my head a shake. I was having a bit of a wobble. Women say it, and, for some reason it's acceptable. But when guys say it, we kind of feel like, wow, we even saying that? I know personally, firsthand, whenever I was having, especially when I was in my depressed and anxious phase, when I was really severely depressed and suffering from a lot of anxiety, I'd find myself talking about a side of emotion within me that not a lot of people knew I exhibited because I portray myself as being super strong, aka the man of steel. I just get stuff done. It looks like nothing ever phases me. I've mentioned it before on my podcast, and I think in earlier videos where people always say, "Oh, you always seem like you've got your shit together." And you always seem like a super positive guy. And I once got told I was the most inspirational person of I think 2018 through people who just saw me turn my life around, I guess. So I remember if I was ever going through something and I made the mistake, I used to call it, of talking about certain levels of pain that I'm feeling and the reaction I got, I'd be like, don't worry about it, I'll be fine. I'll shake it off, I'll be fine. I'll be fine tomorrow. In fact, sometimes I still say it. I'll be like, don't worry about it. Tomorrow I'll be fine. I'll be back to what everybody's used to. But over the last few months, the energy shifting from the my being super masculine to getting in touch with my sensitive side has been overwhelming. I have had days when I would just sit and cry. Just sit and cry. And I'm not talking about tears coming down your eyes, cry because you heard a song that touched a nerve. I'm talking about full on, your nose is running, you're crying. Like you can't hold back the tears. More, maybe, equivalent to a family member or somebody really close to you dying and you can't fight the tears. And it logically makes sense to cry because something terrible has happened or something you think is terrible has happened. I have had days when I've just sat there and cried. I've had days when I have reflected and thought about all the things that have happened to me over a couple of months or over a year or whatever that are unresolved or that kept happening, maybe due to me not paying attention or seeing the signs or because it has to be that way. Regardless, I've spent months just crying by myself, occasionally reaching out to my best friend or whatever, occasionally reaching out to people to say, close people or friends of mine saying, can you tell me what you find good about me? Because when we compartmentalize so much, I think as guys, um, we don't really look after ourselves emotionally with pain. We try and brush it off, but the truth of the matter is, it's eating you up inside. And yeah, we can compartmentalize a lot. I do it a lot, but there will come a point, whether you like it or not, where the compartments will start to struggle to stay closed. And you get overwhelmed with emotion and fear or anxiety or sadness. And I think in this current climate we're in, we're all isolating. It, it gives you time to yourself and to your thoughts. Especially the ones that are maybe unresolved, or the ones that you kind of shook off because you were too busy getting shit done. You were too busy being a guy. You were too busy being a strong woman. That you said, I ain't got time to be sad. I ain't got time to cry. I don't have time for all that. That was always a common line for me. But at one point, you will have to make time because it will catch you. And if you're gonna break down and cry, it's perfectly fine. Nobody don't have to see you. You can cry by yourself, or you can cry with your closest friends. Guys need hugs too, like women want hugs. And it's okay. I think by crying, for me, and being able to be vulnerable and talk to people who are really close to me and say how I feel. Speak to my mom, tell her how I feel. Speak to my best friend and really tell her how I feel, and not just the surface stuff, not the cosmetic stuff, but the stuff that lies beneath that you have been keeping to yourself or compartmentalizing, and now it's run free. And the people around you are wondering why you acting what they would think as erratic, because one minute you're super positive and you're who they're used to, the next minute you're completely quiet or you just seem withdrawn or sad. When you can cry and let the pain out and also relieve the pressure, it it doesn't feel great straight away. I mean, the first time I cried, I thought to myself, "What the fuck's wrong with you, bro? Like, fucking get a grip," But after a while, and one of my other friends who's, you know, she kept on telling me, "Dude, you need to cry, man. You need to cry. Like, just let it happen. Have you cried yet?" She texts me, "Have you cried yet? Have you cried yet?" And I was just like, "No, I'm fine." I felt down. I felt sad. A couple of tears came out, and I'm fine. But she goes, "No, you need to cry. You need to really let it out. It's good for you, and it's needed because there's nothing wrong with it, but it relieves the pressure." And you may not be able to put things in perspective. It's not for that. Not all the time, anyway. You may not feel fine immediately. Don't expect to. When you release pressure from anything, it's gradual. Do you understand? Before it, you know, it reduces in size. But what you will take away from it is this: being comfortable within yourself as a person, as a male or female, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like to cry or being told don't cry, it makes you feel, one, more confident in yourself, two, more in control of all of your emotions, and three, it's healthy. It's really emotionally healthy. There is nothing wrong with shedding a few tears here or there. Like I said, there was periods when I've spent weekends just crying for about an hour or so. Now, if I feel like I want to cry, I'll cry. Granted, I may cry in private, and maybe I'll be able to cry with somebody and not feel uncomfortable about it, or not feel less of a man. So cry. If you need to cry, cry. Men, if you want to cry, cry. If you don't cry because you think it's not macho, scrap that. It's not about being macho. It's about being in touch with that sensitive side of yours that needs nurturing and needs attention seen to it. We love women because you can go to a woman and she'll embrace you and hold you and tell you it's going to be okay. And they're sensitive to your emotions, and they understand because naturally they are the divine feminine. Do you understand? To care, nurture, look after you, also support you, encourage you, and lift you up when you're feeling like crap. You know, um, but we have that ability within ourselves as men, just like women have the ability within themselves to be in touch with their divine masculine side, to get shit done, to protect, to provide, to support, to protect, to provide, to take care of, to look after in a certain way. Like the capability is there. Um, it's not to be neglected, but it's also not to be overutilized as well. It's balance. It's being able to dip in and out of the two and feel safe and comfortable to be either one of the two. There are going to be times when you just want to, as a guy, feel like sensitive. It's okay. If if somebody's going to slate you for it and make you feel like shit for it, it's because they don't know any better. That's their problem. But for you, be what you need to be if it helps you feel better about who you are. You know, if you don't know much about it, go read up on it. You know, talk to people who are into that so that they can let you know what it's like. Or just cry and see how you feel. So anyway, look, I won't go on too much. I just thought I'd share this. I wanted to originally drop a video about dating again, the joys, especially ghosting, but ghosting or blocking, ghosting or blocking. Um, I think we'll do more on blocking rather than ghosting because ghosting gets boring, but blocking is like the new thing. But we'll talk about that another time. But like I always say, live your life one step, one rep at a time. Think strong, be strong, and remember, impossible is nothing. Peace.